Hello again, bullshitters. Racial tensions in America have erupted into riots once again, this time in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. To take down the latest left-wing spin, we take a look at the Young Turks video called Racial Tensions Erupt in Milwaukee. From the title alone, we can already see that the Turks are playing this down, trying to defend the black people who rioted. Hell, the Turks won't even say they rioted. They won't even mention the fact that the blacks targeted whites. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Let's go to the video first.
We've got an issue in Milwaukee yet again. Now we have another African-American shot by police. Was the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? Well, that is a matter in great dispute.
It's not a matter of great dispute at all. Everyone knows that the black guy ran from the police and then turned around and pulled a weapon on a cop. The cop, who happened to be black, by the way. Yeah, a black cop shot that asshole. You can't pull weapons on cops. This story was all confirmed by the police officer's body camera right away. The Young Turks are just ignoring the evidence because they're race baiting and they're coddling black people.
Sylville Smith was shot and killed by police officers in Milwaukee over the weekend.
Oh yeah, Silva looks like a real upstanding citizen. Look, I'm sorry the guy got killed. I don't want anyone to die, but he was asking for it. He ran from and pulled a weapon on a cop. That's inexcusable.
And he was a young African-American male. He did seem to have a weapon on him. We're going to give you all the sides of that story right now.
Just kind of brushed over that weapon part of the story there, Jank. That's kind of the most important part of this guy's description. If he didn't have the weapon, he would still be alive.
First, his family. Kimberly Neal, sister of Smith, says, "My brother was no felon. My brother was running for his life. He was shot in his back."
Cenk makes the interesting choice of leading off with a quote from an emotional relative of the deceased. Sure, she's going to defend her brother. She would even lie to make him look innocent. We've seen this before from relatives of Trayvon Martin, Alton Sterling, and Philando Castile. This relative's account of the shooting is completely untrustworthy, and she shouldn't even be mentioned or taken seriously. She wasn't even at the fucking shooting to begin with. How would she know what happened? We should also note that this is the same woman who later said,
"Tell his mama y'all sorry for her loss. Burning down shit ain't gonna help nothing. Y'all burning down shit we need in our community. Take that shit to the suburbs. Burn that shit down. We need our shit. We need our weed. I don't wear it, but we need it."
Yeah, she's a real gem.
Edward Flynn, who's the Milwaukee police chief, says the opposite. He says he saw the body cam video from the cops. He says, "I know what I saw. Based on what I saw, didn't hear, don't know what the autopsy results are going to be. He certainly appeared to be within lawful bounds."
Now here's someone we should listen to. The motherfucking police chief of Milwaukee. He saw the body cam footage. He saw the suspect pull a gun on a cop. He says it was a justified shooting. That's a fact. Case closed. Now let's see how the Young Turks keep spinning it.
Now, he admits there is a fog of war, and sometimes the stories that come out within 24 hours are oftentimes a little wrong or a lot wrong, depending on the situation. There's no audio in the body cam, so you just see the video.
Cenk, are you all right?
There's no audio in the body cam, so you just see the video.
Looks like he just had a little fart there, or he's trying to keep back a burp or something. Don't want to retake that shot? All right, yeah, let's power through it. Anyway, who cares if there was no audio on the body cam footage? That's just Cenk's weak-minded way of trying to discredit the mountain of evidence against Sylville, the criminal suspect. The video already shows him pulling out a gun. They don't need any fucking audio.
But the cops say that he was running away with a gun. They had stopped him on a traffic stop. Then he ran. Now, where it gets really murky is, did he turn around and the cops shot him? And that is what the police are maintaining. Or was he still running when he was shot? But either way, it appears that the police are very adamant that he did have a gun on him.
All signs point to the kid pulling a gun on a cop and getting shot. The only counter argument comes from an emotional relative who wasn't even there.
Okay. Now, they also explain Smith had a lengthy arrest record, according to Barrett, and officials said earlier he was carrying a stolen handgun loaded with 23 rounds of ammunition when stopped.
A lengthy record, you say? But the crazy sister said he wasn't even a felon, so she lied about that. I'm willing to bet she lied about him being shot in the back, too. She's a proven liar.
And apparently they say that where he, well, we don't want to say where he stole that handgun, but where that handgun was originally stolen, there was 500 rounds of ammunition.
Look as Cenk bends over backwards to defend this confirmed criminal civil. Why? Because he's black. Oh, we better be careful. We don't want to say he stole that gun. While at the same time, Cenk is completely comfortable with saying all cops are racist, fuck white people, and the Armenian genocide didn't really happen. What a class act.
Now, if you have a lengthy arrest record, we don't know what all those arrests were for.
I know what they were for. He was arrested for committing crimes, Chinky Poo. He's a criminal carrying an illegal firearm who was shot running from the police. That should be enough to convict this guy. Then he turns and points the weapon at a cop. This guy had a death wish and it was granted.
But the answer to that isn't to shoot someone, of course. It is to arrest them and to go through the justice system. But if he had a weapon and he had turned around, then obviously the cops, if they feared for their life, would be within their rights to shoot him. Now, whether they did the shooting right or not, we'll have to see. You'll have to get all the evidence. You'll have to see the video. We haven't seen it yet.
The evidence is out, Cenk. It was pretty much out right away. Definitely by the time you made this video yesterday. The police confirmed that the body cam showed Civil pulled a gun on a cop. We don't need to see that video. I can confidently take the police chief's word for it. Hell, the mayor of Milwaukee saw it and confirmed it. The only reason assholes like Cenk are holding out their confirmation is because they don't want to ever condemn black people for anything. And they want to say fuck the police as much as possible. Cenk saying he has to wait to see the video is bullshit.
Whether the cops will be charged is a different story. In the real world, if he had a weapon, they're not going to get charged.
The way he says the cops aren't going to get charged really pisses me off. He acts like these cops are getting away with murder. No, they're getting away with self-defense.
They're going to say, well, I mean, look, he was running away and he could have been a danger to us. Maybe he turned around, or even if he didn't turn around, he still could have turned around and could have been a danger to us. He also showed a violent tendency, so we were worried he was going to shoot someone else with that weapon as he's running away.
Now Cenk is just improvising some shoulda, woulda, coulda bullshit. He has no clue what he's talking about. He even drops in the violent tendencies buzzword to try to make the cops look racist. It's like he doesn't know or care to know that the cop that shot him was black too. He never mentions the cop's race once in this 10-minute video. Why? Because he's black and it doesn't fit the fuck white people narrative. If the cop was white, Cenk would be screaming it from a rooftop every 10 seconds.
So if they say that, it seems inconceivable that they would be convicted of anything, and probably fairly inconceivable that they would even be charged.
Yeah, that's because the cops shouldn't be charged. They were doing their jobs properly.
In this case, what we had was not a peaceful protest. So we don't yet know how bad the police shooting was in the first place.
Yes, we do. You don't know it, Cenk, because you're a regressive idiot living in an echo chamber.
And many of the cop cars were damaged as this car was lit on fire. And you can see, this is no joke. This is a very real and unproductive action. Now, this is different. This is a protest, not connected to the fires.
Love how he says the protests in this pic weren't connected to the ones with the burning and violence. I wonder why. Probably has something to do with that Black Lives Matter sign in the middle there. We all know that Black Lives Matter never does anything wrong and they would never be part of anything violent or negative. Give me a fucking break. They're one of the core problems for all this shit.
When you're out in the streets, there's a lot of anger. And actually, a person who news channel interviewed there was apparently Smith's younger brother. And he expressed that anger. I want to let you listen to him, and then we'll talk this thing through.
Take me through what's going on right now.
Right now, you got a city riot going on because, once again, the police has failed to protect us like they say they was going to do. They failed to be here for the people like they say they sworn in to do. You know, and us as a community, we're not going to protect ourselves.
Wow, this looks horrible. This guy, supposedly the victim's brother, he says the black community won't protect themselves? What the fuck? Everyone should protect themselves. He's so entitled, expecting all this protection and handouts from the government. Sometimes you gotta take care of yourself, buddy.
But if we don't have anyone to protect us, then this is what you get. You know, you get riots. You got people out here going crazy. We losing loved ones every day to the people that sworn in to protect us.
Then this young black gentleman says this is what happens when the police don't protect you. People riot, commit crimes, and burn shit down. That makes zero fucking sense. You know why? This is all bullshit. The shooting of Silva was justified. He was an armed criminal who tried to shoot a cop. But these rioters don't even care about that. They don't care about the facts. They were just looking for a reason to riot, steal, and cause mayhem. They're opportunists. The riot isn't the police department's fault. It's the rioters' fault. It's the black black community's fault for encouraging victimhood and violence against police. It's the mainstream media's fault for fueling the fire with shitty, biased reporting. Black Lives Matter is involved too for constantly misinterpreting shootings of blacks and then turning them into race-baiting spectacles. This riot should have never happened. It's based on a lie and it will amount to nothing good for Milwaukee. That's about it for this video. Cenk drones on some more after this clip and does his whole "blacks are always the victims" song and dance. We've heard it all before. The Young Turks see black people as a lesser class, baby-like race. They have no responsibility for their actions. Cenk patronizes blacks like they can't help themselves. That's racist. I believe that blacks are equals. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, we're all equal races. Sure, we have different cultures and different strengths and weaknesses, but we're all adults. All citizens, we're all people who are responsible for our own actions. That's why I hold black people to the same standards I would for white people, or Asians or Hispanics. That's fair and that's how it should be. And unfortunately, there are currently problems in the black community in America. In Milwaukee, a young black man ran from the law, turned around, and pointed a gun at a police officer. Although he was justifiably shot, black friends and relatives decided to turn the shooting into another race war. Other blacks joined in and started riots in the streets. They were out breaking windows, cars, burning down businesses, and targeting white people. 4 people were killed in the riots and many others were injured, including police officers. We haven't heard a peep about that. This is the reality of what happened. These rioters need to get their heads straight. Blaming the cops and government for all your problems isn't going to work anymore. It's time some of these people picked themselves up by the bootstraps and really tried to fix the black communities. This story's almost over, but I wanted to leave you with a few more clips from the nights of the riots. This footage, compiled by Colin Flaherty, came out the night of and is a bit more raw than the filtered down national coverage. It really shows how entitled and messed up some of these rioters were. Check it out, and thanks again for watching No Bullshit. Good night, everybody.
It's sad because, this will happen because they're not helping the black community. Like, the rich people, they got all this money and they're not like, trying to give us none. It's
black power in this motherfucker, man.
They beating up every white person. They jumping every white person. Man, no white person come down Sherman. He white. Beat his shit.